On today's World Insight, Switzerland was exalted as a guest of honor at the recently concluded Hainan Expo. We speak to the Swiss ambassador to China on what the rest of the world can learn from Sino-Swiss ties. And a Swiss tradition for the finer things in life, be it precision watches, utility knives, and chocolates. Up close with Switzerland's finest at the recent Consumer Products Expo in Hainan. Here is our host, Tian.
Hello and welcome to World Insight. I'm Tian. We begin with China's efforts to drum up consumer-driven recovery and growth. China's consumers have shown their hefty and resilient buying power despite pandemic-driven uncertainty. So China's trading partners have lost no time tapping into the great potential of China's consumers. Switzerland is definitely one of them. The Swiss have a long history of entrepreneurial ties with China, which remains Switzerland's third largest trading partner worldwide and its largest trading partner in Asia. Earlier, I had an in-depth interview with Ambassador of Switzerland to China, Mr. Bernardino Ragazzoni. In fact, I caught him in action at the very first China International Consumer Products Expo. Let's take a look. Ambassador, we are in Switzerland.
Yeah, we are in Switzerland, as you noticed.
Your home turf, right?
Yeah.
And the Swiss cow.
Oh, yes, that's unmistakable, you know. Yeah. All the visitors can put their impression, their signature
Where is
on
yours?
them.
Where's yours?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Before leaving, I will put my final.
Maybe we will have you sign here.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that now?
Let's do it.
Yes. Let's have the
maybe
ambassador.
here, on the
Okay,
back. Yeah.
there we go.
Twice.
I'm so glad CGTN caught you writing your name right here on the Swiss cow. All right, there we go. And this is a nice spa, right? I mean, not only the Swiss cow, but also
the cowbells. Yeah. And you read? Can you try?
Beautiful.
And here to enjoy some rest in the Swiss landscape.
So we are 9,212 kilometers away from Zurich.
Capital Bern.
Where is your hometown?
Lugano.
Lugano.
Is south of all of them. Yeah.
Okay, so we can relax a little bit.
Yes. That's a very pleasant way to
Nice.
get introduced to Switzerland.
Yes.
Then you can enjoy some food,
Real
some
Swiss products.
dairy food, beer, coffee as well. And then we have the more event-related
I
part.
can tell as a Swiss ambassador, you just cannot stop from talking to us about the real Swiss brands.
Yes, of course. Here we are for that.
Let's go and visit. Yeah.
That's the most important part.
Hi, dear. Hi, good to
Obrigado.
see you. Oh, thank you so much for your hard work.
That's really a surprise. That's a surprise.
Really a surprise. Enjoy your day.
Thank
and
you
good
so
job.
much. As the hostess of the pavilion.
Thank you very much.
So that's
that's
the
important.
wife of Miss Ambassador. You can see she's working so hard around the pavilion. Yeah.
Here
Okay.
it's a nice thing because you can, decide the design of your watch, and it is produced in 15 minutes. It's produced. So here you can find out this one. You can move the design.
Yeah.
Then you can fix it, and then it's
And then
produced.
we have a signature Miss Ambassador watch.
Signature only on the occasion of Hainan Expo. These designs are only for this occasion. Yeah.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
so there's going to be some events.
here it's in a few minutes
Yeah.
events are going on. So that's the idea, to have a permanent space where permanently events take place by the
All
companies
of
who
these
export.
brands from Switzerland. Yeah. Here are our friends. Hi, how are you guys?
Very good, thank you.
Yeah.
You're from different brands from the...
This is a piece of art of Switzerland. This is exactly the technology of Switzerland,
Yeah.
the cultural heritage of Switzerland mixed with the innovation. This is the conquest of innovation. There's a Mr. Ambassador, His Excellency will tell you.
It's a great pleasure. Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's seeing you, smiling on their face. You're doing a great job for Switzerland.
Very kind. Thank you very much. Part of my job. Here on the right-hand side, you have the traditional Swiss Army knife.
Yes.
Yes.
How many of these you have at home?
Many. But I was saying yesterday, I just have to pay attention on the security check in airports.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. That's true.
I left quite a number behind me.
That's a good tip when we travel.
Yes.
And of course, the beautiful watches from Switzerland.
Now we are quite happy and grateful to the companies who accepted to participate in the pavilion.
Yeah. And
Here we are.
of course, some garments as well. Look at the crowds here.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to see a lot of people.
And I'm honored to be joined here by Ambassador from Switzerland.
My
Mr.
great
Ambassador,
pleasure.
good to see you.
Yeah.
Tell me more about how did you secure it? The only guest of honor country in the expo.
I mean thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here with you. There might be different explanations. So on the one hand, these
Maybe Guanxi,
that's also very important.
the
Always very-
China-Switzerland
You need
relationship.
good contacts, of course. At the end, the relations are done by people, and the good interaction with people is essential everywhere, and especially in China. But as of our participation, let's say for top-end brands, luxury good, consumer good, the brand Switzerland sounds has an important role on the one hand. On the other hand, for sure, the good relation between Switzerland and China, the history of our relation also plays a role. We have been many times first movers. It's not just rhetoric, it's a history in early recognition, the 70th anniversary last year, the first joint venture plays an important role, and the free trade agreement. So we, with a pragmatic spirit, we have no difficulty, no fears to go into a new adventure with a partner we well know, despite the big difference in size. But let's go for that in a pragmatic way. I think all these elements play the role, and it was, of course, a great honor and a great challenge as well.
Switzerland has been known for being pragmatic.
Yes.
And always be able to see opportunities at least one step before many of the others. I mean, you are in a very important position. You are sitting in an important chair, witnessing China's change and the global change. How are you looking at, what are the opportunities? What might be the challenges?
So bilaterally, as I was saying, we have a longer story, and this pragmatic approach plays an important role. By the way, it's attitude we have toward all countries in the world, because as a neutral country, you are committed to universal relations, and also in trade, I think we have the largest network of free trade agreements with virtually with European Union, with Canada, with China, with Japan now. So we think we don't fear competition. We think that if we practice innovation, we can compete with everybody in a friendly way. So that's a general stance.
So you don't think you have to choose, quote unquote?
No,
Mr. Ambassador.
I think in our case, because as a neutral country on the one hand, and also in the present situation, not in our interest to take sides. So we repeatedly say that not just as a neutral country, but as a European country as well, because there we are geographically. And it's not in our interest to take side. Of course, we have our identity, our values. That plays a role. We state that openly to our counterparts. But I think that's our way. We have no other way. We practice that for many years, and we're confident for the future as well.
This expo is another example of China trying to tell the rest of the world, come over here.
Yeah.
Let's earn money together. Let's work together. Let's enjoy the market. And maybe from here, let's do something else beyond. How much do you see, in concrete terms, China's reform and opening up today?
There are many layers of that. It's a very large question, but let's start from Haikou. Haikou is a specific character, I think, in the first place, and today we are witnessing that as a duty-free, high-end
Shopping paradise.
Exactly. Shopping, that's one layer, but we are also aware about further layer which are in the vision of the free trade port and which Swiss companies already practice, be it in the pharmaceutical sector, be it in the educational, because if you welcome a lot of people, you need skill, manpower to host, so hotel, schools. Finance, it's also another layer, more complex, because there are other actors in China. There is Hong Kong, there is mainland China, and now there is this new actor. And further on, the general policy of opening, we welcome that. It is very much in the sense of what I was describing.
Right.
Wherever there is an open, bringing down barriers, it's a good
welcome,
thing.
yeah.
Wherever there is a free trade zone, that's a good thing. And generally speaking, we notice that in the financial sector, that's particularly progressed, the opening policy of China. In other sectors as well, but we hope to have further. We have a free trade agreement, and the free trade agreement has already a certain number of barriers. We are ready to bring them down anytime soon. Therefore,
are you in discussion with the Chinese side about that?
For a long time, there are special periods for putting into force the free trade agreements.
Right.
It will be a 10 years period. We are ready to do that earlier than the period which is stated in the free trade agreement.
Of course, Switzerland is not part of the European Union yet. How do you see the current situation of China-European investment treaty?
Oh, that's we have, you say not yet, for the time being, our position is to be where we are with a very tight network of relations to the European Union, more than 100 agreements. We are in permanent discussion about how to shape our relation to the European Union, but we are definitely not members.
Well, that's fair. That's only fair.
Yeah. But of course, it is our environment, it is our partner number one, economically, politically as well, I would say, and therefore we watch at it with a lot of interest. The story everybody knows, so it started, or it ended up very well on the 30th of December, and then the political weather changed. Clouds came up, and the point is about the ratification next year of this agreement, where Parliament plays a more important role. So I would say it's very open. It's a very open situation.
So how do you see Switzerland's competitive edge now in terms of working with China?
We have a partnership based on innovation, which has been formalized in the year 2016. And I think that's an important
That's an important message also for Switzerland, isn't it?
Yes.
You have state leaders keep on hammering on that message everywhere where they go.
Yes. Innovation means, I am often asked about the magic formula, and there is no magic formula. I can try to, every time, to explain what are the reasons, and there are maybe three reasons. One being the educational system. You need a flexible enough educational system, because talents, they come up at different moments. So you should provide them with the opportunity to show up at any time. The legal framework, so also to promote innovation, and of course venture capital. Without that, you don't go anywhere. These are the three ingredients for innovation, I think.
When weather changes, Mr. Ambassador, how do you read China's potential?
potential. Potential is there because it's an economic giant in the world. I mean, it's not a potential, it's an actual economic power. So it's not about, if you speak about potential, where, in which direction to develop. And I hope very much in the direction of an open dialogue, a sincere dialogue with all partners, namely with us as well, accepting sometimes that we might have differences. It's not hurting our good relation. I think that a deep and mature relation needs also to acknowledge differences and move on from them, not to refuse any possible divergence. I mean, divergences are there. It was also in the letter read of the President of the Swiss Confederation in the opening ceremony. It was said that these differences make the relation even more intense. You can integrate these differences. This is my wish.
Is it easily done?
No, it's never easily done. But but because a dialogue must be articulated, not just statements. No, you have to go to accept to go into a track. So it's a long one. It's a long process, but it's a necessary one. Dialogue.
However, there are concerns whether when communication is being conducted, the other party is listening or not. We heard that a lot, not of course about Switzerland, but about the other parties.
Yes, I mean, media make an outstanding job. They make their job, but there is the voice of the media, there is the voice of the public opinions as well, the voice of parliament in Switzerland, increasingly perceptible in the relation to China, and there is the voice of governments. And all of them play an important role, and they might be divergent among themselves, but I think that all these different tracks are necessary in developing. When we speak about a dialogue, there is a governmental. Well, I care about that because it is my job, but all other the different layers are also equally important. So listening. All these layers have to listen to each other.
Are there any secretive ways of communication, Mr. Ambassador, to all these different stakeholders? As in your position, you have to do that.
You're the mogul of communication, so I wouldn't dare to give you advice.
The magical remedy.
Yes, I would say it's openness in dialogue. It takes time. But not just sentences or stances. The public appearance, it's an important layer, but there are other channels which have to work as well. So openness to each other, listening.
Real listening.
That's important.
Yeah. I love that. Mr. Ambassador, made in Switzerland, that's already made its way for decades around the world.
Yes.
Now China is talking about made in China, but also toward much higher layer, not just simple manufacturing.
Yes.
How do you see the two can, interact and draw inspirations from one another?
Made in, it's the quality of a product, but it's also a story that plays a role, tradition plays a role.
Tell me more about that.
I mean, that's obvious. Swiss watches. So it is a story which started in the 17th, 18th centuries. Manufacturers coming from France, settling down in Switzerland, and on and on and on. So there is a tradition, I think, for any made in, especially in fashion. The customer is interested also in this unmaterial. So it is the quality of the product, but there is something unmaterial. But I am sure, and I am sincere, not just to please the audience, that any country can bring about this process, maybe not Swiss watches, but something which is specific to that country. And China now, with a level of innovation which has reached, with a long tradition and history, there is for sure a possibility for a made in China or a made in somewhere else. Yeah.
Mr. Ambassador, you've been traveling extensively in China.
I tried.
I mean, during a difficult time, in fact, because you came here almost during the early stage of the epidemic time, and but you tried your best, I can see, just looking at reading your secretary's schedule preparing for you. But what has been, the real essence of the China market? The real essence of Chinese businesses when you communicating with them, to you as a Swiss ambassador?
I mean, I don't start, thanks God, from scratch. There is a 40 years tradition of established economic relation. We have around 1,000 Swiss companies established in China. So I profit a lot of their experience, of their tradition as well. Where we can bring in an additional value as a governmental actor is to interact at the governmental level. There is a need time to time to go and speak more than in other countries, to speak at the governmental level. And that's our role, to sort out issues which may arise anytime. I'm not speaking about framework conditions, individual cases. We do that quite a lot, so to be a go-between between the private sector and the governmental level in China. This is more specific, but there is a lot, once again, to learn from their experience, how to deal in China. I learn a lot from them as well, from the company.
But you have been very active in the Swiss business community as well. I witnessed you going and speaking, interacting for a long period of time with Swiss businesses in China. Many of them are large companies, but there are also small and medium-sized companies. How do you talk to them about what's going on? How would you calm them when they have nerves about, where is that all things are heading for?
I practiced that mainly in this COVID year, 2020, because there were practically virtual no visits from abroad, so I had more time to go around and meet them and to learn about their concerns. They are keen about also the governmental relations, so I can inform them in terms of compliance. A lot is said in the media about how to comply. Also, the president in his message spoke about due diligence. Practice your due diligence. We consider that companies themselves must be responsible, not just for the product they sell, but for the framework condition where they work.
Switzerland is the country that hosts many international organizations. WTO, the International Olympic Committee are just among some of them. But if you look at Switzerland, it has always been a country looking for and advocating free trade. So about the global trade environment, Mr. Ambassador, in which Swiss putting so much emphasis on, how do you see what is going on right now, particularly with the perceptions that you have learned here in China?
Yes. Yes, you can practice free trade on the bilateral level, but it remains a multilateral level. And there are not glorious times now for multilateralism in trade. With the new American administration, the WTO came out of deep coma, and now at least on the panels can be kept again. But we are extremely far from
the appellate body is still not working, which is the teeth of WTO.
I started my career when the Uruguay round was going on, so an agreement which is valid for everybody. Could you think that today, in today's world, an agreement? So already, I mean, back then with the Doha round, it never has been accomplished, and today it seems even more further. This situation, a general agreement accepted by everybody. I think we are, unfortunately, still very far from that.
And what does that mean to Switzerland?
We cannot be anything but multilateralists be it in the United Nations, be it also in commercial issues. I think we have to practice that consistently without second thoughts, without, you can exert the power policy within a multilateral system. I think there you have to keep in mind the benefits for everybody, but there are also positive developments. I had the pleasure, as I already told you in other occasion, to be present in the negotiation of the Paris Agreement 2015.
Yes.
And there, I think it has sincerely been a moment of great multilateralism, because there any particular interest, of course every country has interest, cannot do against one's interest, but that has been a great moment of multilateralism. I hope, and I am quite confident, that on the path of sustainable development there are also time for greater moments of multilateralism, starting from Kunming in October with the biodiversity, which is even as important as CO reduction. So there is still hope for multilateralism.
You're watching World Inside with me, Tian. Coming up, a Swiss tradition for the finer things in life, be it precision watches, utility knives, and chocolate. Up close with Switzerland's finest at the recent Consumer Products Expo in Hainan. Welcome back. This is World Inside with me, Tian Wei. Businesses from all over the world are having different priorities, for sure. But everybody is looking at the China market as its priority. That is also certain. That's in fact what I learned from the China International Consumer Products Expo wrapped up in Hainan earlier. I talked to some of those coming from different companies from all over the world. Let's hear their thoughts. Beautiful flower down there.
I know,
Wow.
isn't it? It's so vibrant color.
I know.
This is a special collection that we brought specifically for the Hainan Expo. It's called Fleur Éternelle,
Wow.
so which is eternal flower. It's actually from a natural, beautiful flower petal. You know, like actually we show it here. It's all the beautifully blooming flower petals, and then we use high technology like a 3D scanner to shape the flower to be an eternal shape. And then we actually using our craftsman's handmade skill
Like
in
shown
our
here.
Parisian's studio to assemble the flower and put the beautiful gems on top of it.
And voila, it's in
I know,
Hainan.
yeah, it's in Hainan. It's a beautiful island, tropical weather. So
Yeah.
that's what we think would be the perfect fit for this show.
And Kering has so many brands that are operating in China.
Yes, we actually is one of the largest luxury group. We have 14 international brands, from fashion to leather goods to watches and jewelry. And this time we brought the top 3 jewelry brands from Kering group level.
That's wonderful.
Yes, and all of them have a presence in China. But for Pomalato and Boucheron, this is actually their first time in Hainan.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is exactly the virgin show.
Exactly, yeah. Very famous Italian jewelry brand called Pomalato.
Yeah.
And it brought a very classic design called Sabia. The brand was created in 1967 when the women's movement, independent movement, was very, very active. So this brand actually create jewelry pieces for women to wear, not only in big parties, but also in their everyday life.
Right.
You can wear like a gold chain necklace to work. You can go on travel and taking holidays, and you can do it. You can wear it even when you are doing sports.
I can see you're in love with the brand.
That's for sure. Yes.
So there are so many of them, but also not only just from the European continent, but also inspirations coming from a local culture, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I'm going to introduce you one of the very, I would say, beautiful brand that very close to my heart. It's called Qilin, which is a China brand. It gets all the inspiration from Chinese culture, like hulu,
Yes.
like ruyi,
Like this?
and panda. And it's a brand created by a Hong Kong designer in the 1990s.
Yeah.
But now it's really popular among all the Chinese consumers. For Hainan Expo, we brought the top classic series of Qilin brand. So this is called Ruyi series.
Beautiful.
You can see, it's really draw great inspirations from Chinese cultural relics.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then we move on. This hulu shape is so well known, actually, very popular among
But
consumers.
really, it's so much in the Chinese culture.
Exactly. It also brings the great best wishes for people, bring great luck to people. So when you wear it, you really feel very happy.
You got one on your
exactly.
neck now.
I have a very special piece. This is for the Pavilion brand's 15th anniversary special collection.
Oh,
Yeah, it
that's
has a ruby,
special.
ruby on top of it.
Wow,
too.
okay.
This is a flying pig.
Oh,
actually.
I thought it was a little panda. Okay.
Yeah, but the animal series is very popular. So the panda series called Bobo, we started with the panda series, and now we actually expanded to other animal signs as
Got
well.
all of them flying.
Yes, it's a very dynamic design, so it can fly, it can move around.
And
yeah.
I think your business in China is really flying.
Yes, we are very grateful for all the government policies and the support. The China economy is booming. Consumers are very confident about their outlook, their life improvement, and yeah, we wanted to continue to grow with the market.
Yeah, it's an amazing market, isn't
I
it?
know. You feel this very passionate desire for making a better life, to really show that their lifestyle is improving, and the quality and the spiritual pursuit of
I
their
know
lifestyle.
you run around every year for many expos like this, but you know that's really the key message I think China is really giving others, right?
Yes, yes.
That there is such a strong desire to have a better life. Whatever is the best,
Yes.
bring them on.
像我们中东欧之家呢，是代理了在中东欧17个国家的产品，大部分都是葡萄酒，然后还有一些葵花籽油以及啤酒等比较出名的一些产品。然后我们代表的国家里头呢，有那个克罗地亚、有捷克、爱沙尼亚以及希腊等等这些国家产品。
他们是不是很踊跃？Are they very active here?
对 ，yes， 那因为他们很想参与到建设自贸港的这一个队伍中来，也想借着咱们首届校博会这一次这么好的一个机会，把中东欧的产品推向全世界。
咱们有大概多少个中东欧的产品在这里？
大概有186种产品。
那你要了解很多关于中东欧的信息了，才能跟大家更多分享。
对，说的没错。
OK。我们在这里还看到 ，we are also seeing a lot of customers coming in and check. For example, this gentleman. What's your name? May I have your name?
My name is Hans-Peter. Hi.
Hi, Hans-Peter. Good to see you. Where are you from originally?
Switzerland.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
And
yes.
here you are visiting?
No, I stay in Sanya. Live actually in Sanya for the last 6 months already. So I'm half Sanya, half Hainanese.
Proud of it.
Yes,
already.
absolutely great place.
So what do you do? Why are you interested in the products coming from Central and Eastern European countries?
Well, I'm not just particularly interested in Central or Eastern European. I'm generally interested in products which are shown here, and it's kind of interesting to see what attracts the attention of the clients, because we are trying to import goods into Hainan, in the duty-free business in Hainan.
I see.
So we are looking around what would be suitable for the duty-free market. And
The
so
duty-free market is huge here, isn't it? With this
growing,
free port,
yes,
free
it's
trade port.
growing, of course. A lot of investment goes into it. New players coming into the game. So I think it's a very growing market. Yes.
New players coming into the game.
New players. No, but it's not new players. We are playing together with the local partners.
Yeah.
So it's not just we on one side and the others on the other side. So it's really we are playing together with local partners in the
So
business.
you come here trying to identify who could be your future partners in a way.
Not so much on the duty-free side, because there we know the people quite well, but it's more to see what products could be interesting for the duty-free market, because at the moment it's mainly cosmetics.
Yeah.
It's well, skincare as we
Yeah.
said, some watches, some jewelry, but there are many more products which would be potentially interesting for
Like
the duty-free
what?
market.
Like what?
But that's what we see.
Yeah.
I'll see where are the people. Is it alcohol?
Oh.
Is it, well, alcohol is in duty-free business as well, but any kind of product that may be interesting and not yet available in the duty-free channels.
So Hainan will be having a big potential for you. You are thinking of
I
settling
think-
down for further time?
I think Hainan has a huge potential for the whole industry. A lot of investment goes into China, into Hainan particularly, to setting this really up as a duty-free destination. And I think that is a fantastic thing and will be very successful as well in the future, yes. So yes, I'm planning to stay here a bit longer.
Wow, Hans-Peter is willing to be a Hainanese.
I try to practice my Chinese a bit more, yes.
So good to see you, Hans
see you.
Peters.
Thank
All
you.
the best.
Thank you. Same
Thank
to
you
you.
so much. I wouldn't waste too much of your time.
Thank you.
Welcome
Thank you.
to our booth for L'Oréal.
Thank you very much. I'm very flattered to be shown around by you.
It's a big pleasure to welcome you and to let you discover a bit what we bring in this expo.
Yeah, I know sustainable development is very key to
Yes, and this is why we wanted to start and showing our commitment to sustainability and environment. And this is the brand Biotherm as an example, who actually, we call it the ocean lovers, the water lovers,
Yeah.
because they had a very strong commitment towards sustainability,
Yeah.
and they did a very strong act here in Hainan to clean the beaches and participate in making our environment a better place to be.
you. Did you participate?
The teams participated, and I promise that next time I will come and participate.
That's great.
But you know what is very important in the days is that brands has also a purpose,
Yeah.
has a mission.
Of course.
And this is why I'm very happy that we partner with the
Everything
association.
about sustainable development
Exactly.
here.
When it comes to product, when it comes to formulation, but also when it comes to the purpose of the cause that we also bring. And this is what today consumers are expecting.
And they are looking for this.
Exactly. You know, the post-COVID shows that consumers are looking at consumption, but looking at the good consumption. What kind of impact they can also do positively. And this is where, we have today to answer to this new trend.
Right. Talking about what the consumers are looking for, sustainable development is not just about doing, donations and things, cleaning up, but rather also in all the packagings and everything.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know, we have today to have also the consumers in the heart of our strategy when it comes to sustainability.
Yeah.
This is why here is an example with Lancôme where you have the refill. So this
Yeah.
is usually consumers would buy this product. Obviously, it's a very nice object, very precious object.
Yeah.
But we're proposing today to the consumers to have a refill, and this is the box that we're offering.
Yeah.
That there is a possibility actually to buy just the refill
Yes.
and replace your product when it's.
Oh, can
it's
you do
finishing.
that? Can you help me to do that?
Of course. And the idea of the refill is to be able to change.
To take it out.
Yes,
Oh,
to take
so
it
that
out. So
you
when
don't
it's
waste.
finished, yes, you don't waste. And in a way, it helps consumers to have the same experience, but not,
Overuse
over-consuming.
or over-consuming.
And I think this is very much the future, the future of the consumption. I just call it the good consumption because consumers are at the heart of us co-creating products for them.
So this is the key message you're trying to hammer in every time,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes, we want consumers to also participate in the effort of making this world more beautiful. We bring products, but we bring as well an ecosystem with a lot of partners to be able to succeed this important mission, which we call it L'Oréal for the
I
Future.
really like the word ecosystem you just said. So you are actually not only bringing ecosystem environmentally friendly to here, but also have an ecosystem of all kinds of products.
Exactly. L'Oréal as a mission is beauty for all. And we recognize that consumers are very diverse and they have different also appetite, different needs. This is why we gather with all our brands to gather different consumer targets. Chinese consumers today, they're becoming very demanding, very high expectation. And we know that the Gen Z particularly, they are very eager to consume, but they have also a lot of demands.
That's
So for us, as a #1 company in the world and #1 company here in China, we have to be relevant for these consumers and we have to innovate for them. But many of innovation, they're actually inspiring the world. And this is why we work with all our brands and the ecosystem in China to together, to bring this best for Chinese consumer and for the world. Lately, for instance, I give you one example, the brand Kerastase.
Yes.
Just actually work with understanding the insight of Chinese consumers and develop a range for scalp which is very relevant for Chinese consumer. And you know what? It's become a blockbuster worldwide.
Wow, that's nice.
So that's what is all about L'Oréal. China is bringing the best of the world to China and bringing the best of China also to the world.
That's wonderfully said. I see you're having a very busy day today.
Yes.
Oh my God, earlier there were huge crowds over here. So how is L'Oréal looking at the China market?
We look at it as very confident because we know that Chinese consumers, they love beauty, they love big brands, they love also to trust and quality of product. So we're very excited, to participate in such event and be so close to the consumer, to the own partners, because we very much believe as I said, it's an ecosystem. It's all together which will make the consumption good and will make their life even more beautiful.
Fabrice, you're in the right place.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You got great stuff, Francis.
Yes, exactly. This is a great stuff from Switzerland. And then we see actually in the Chinese market, the young people, they appreciate a lot of different colors. And then they love some small cabinet that fit to their character. So this is actually one of our target group. And then the middle class is also our very good market because they are a lot mature. They understand the value of Swiss-made furniture, and then they also appreciate a lot. So this furniture can fulfill the requirement over a long period of time.
So this time, Switzerland, of course, is the special guest of honor country.
Yes.
At the expo. What does it mean, to the Chinese consumers who might not yet have a full exposure to your products?
Basically, with the consumer market, they are a little bit rawer for this product. And then, so what we want to do, the first thing is exposure. And then second thing is that we can have the chance to explain a little bit more about the structure to impress the customer about what we understand about Swiss quality.
Right. What about Swiss quality?
Swiss quality, the first thing is about longevity. The second thing is about the power of design. Today, we're talking about environmental, so we're talking about the material, everything. But this cabinet is already in the market for more than 50 years, and it never aged. So, if you got a good product that can last for a long time from the point of design, you don't have a reason to throw it away because it's always fashionable, and then the furniture piece will be with you for a very long period of time, and you don't have any waste.
Furniture market in China very competitive.
So we have to build up character of the furniture and the kind of application. It has to be special and also having very good functionality.
Well, everybody's sitting on your chair at the Swiss Pavilion.
Yes, actually, I can say it's a cabinet, but it can also be a kind of chair because the structure is super strong. What we are doing is that we actually build up the frame and then we just clip on the panel on it. So the loading of each panel will be over 50 kg. So I'm over 50 kg. So when I sit on it, there is no problem at all.
All right.
So the strong structure can allow you to do a lot of different applications. So this panel are actually the side panel of the cabinet. But when I have a new idea, I can transform everything from a cabinet to become a cubic sitting.
Sounds very cool.
Yeah.
Sounds very cool. Nice sitting. And that's all we have for today. If you'd like to see more, search World Insight or check out our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Tian Wei. On behalf of the team, thanks for watching. Bye.